everyone. I'm Elise as Another Truth here on YouTube. Welcome and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well and you're taking great care of yourselves, and I hope that you are enjoying your weekend so far. It's been quite an interesting week full of global developments and virtual developments here on YouTube, and for me personally, making the adjustment of living in a different space, a space completely of my own, and trying to figure out how to navigate things in there. Some pieces are still coming in because there have been new batches of furniture, so they're coming in piece by piece. And some things I did elect to pick up that have been once loved and used, and I will be refurbishing them the best that I can. I have some artistic ideas, and that will mainly be my patio furniture. And I had the option of getting um, this wonderful kitchen table. It's an older table. It is something that I do plan on refurbishing once again. I do not know if I'm able to restore it to its beautiful glory, but I have some ideas. With the patio furniture, it's the same thing. It's not brand new. It is once loved, and that I plan to do a mosaic on the table because I had thought about just buying a bistro set, but I decided I want something a little bit better, a little bit bigger, and that I have some creative ideas with. I've been talking to people who are knowledgeable in this area. I've been watching some YouTube videos and reading up on some ways on how to improve furniture because I mainly want to keep things as sustainable as possible. I like the idea of using what's already available, what's already out there. I didn't want to get um, any furniture from Amazon. There are a couple of pieces I'm getting from Amazon only because that I know of the brand and I know that it'll last uh, quite a few years. So just two pieces. One is it's a vanity table and a small desk for my work and my studying. The desk is adequate enough to handle um, a desktop and a laptop and everything that I need. I don't have a lot in terms of things, but that's good because there were a lot of things I had to get rid of anyway. Some of the stuff was degraded, some things I don't use anymore. My life is a little bit different as an empty nester, as an independent person. I really don't have the time to keep up with a lot of stuff that would require a lot of care, constant polishing, washing, um, looking after, hanging on to this stuff. So I will do my level best to keep what I have, and I am creative, so I will make the best use out of it possible to make it look like it is wonderful. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that it is a cozy apartment. It is comfortable. It has everything that I could possibly need. There are no bells and whistles with it. There are ways to make it that way if I wanted to, but this is what I have. This is what I chose, and I'm happy about it because I can make it in any way, shape, or form I want to. There are many ways I've considered how to alter the place without breaking my lease to be able to make it comfortable and safe and fun. So, the good thing about this space is I think my cat will quite enjoy it. And I have made some provisions in space for him, what he'll need. So things that I put in there, I had to seriously consider if it was safe, if it will be okay. So what I plan to do is refurbish everything in the next 3 months, and get. It'll take about 3 months for me to kind of settle things in, see how things go, and um, then my cat will be living with me 100% because he kind of had split time between us because my best friend and I essentially, um, we still live I live close to him, very close to him, but how we arranged it before, I was with him all the time, and he's my cat, so I take care of him, make sure he gets his meals, he's engaged, loved, gets his vet care, gets love. Sometimes we take a nap together. If I'm laying down, he'll come over and have a nap and all of that. But I'm a little bit further away, not too much, maybe about a small city block down, which is fine because that's what I wanted. Um, it's more convenient for me, so it'll be good. It'll work out fine. And I'm able to have a small dog as well. I do not know that I would do that at this time. I'm still settling. I want to make sure that my cat will be okay and that with the resources I have, that I have enough resources to take care of a dog. If I can't do it, I can't take on a dog, though I'm entitled to have an emotional support dog. Also can have a service dog. A service dog is too expensive. I don't know of any place that would help me with that, but again, I would still have to be responsible for their ongoing care, and I'm already committed to my cat. So it's like I just can't hoard animals or have a bunch of animals in the house that I can't take care of. It's ridiculous and irresponsible. I guess the thing with Chantel and her cat problem is very triggering, and the cats are telling on her anyway, just by their existence and unfortunate position of being handled by her. They tell on her. They tell on her by way of humans who really take animal cruelty very seriously. And Chantel, um, over the years, through all of the cats that she has had, given up, abandoned, neglected, abused, whatever, I, it was projected that she had within, I think, 6 or 7 years, 6 cats, and that includes cats that she had on a short-term basis that she gave up. So this last cat, Smokey, um, nobody forced her to take on Smokey's care or Smokey's um, care and responsibility or anything like that. Nobody forced that on Chantel. She was adamant she was going to get this cat no matter what anybody thought. She didn't come to think, well, am I really settled in to have a cat? Will I really have the space, the time, and the commitment to take care of an animal long term? Okay, when I adopted my cat, all right, we are expected to have a commitment. I think they said it was like an overall 15-year commitment or something. Now, when I adopted my cat, he was already 5. He's 9 now. So he's very much an adult cat, an older cat. And I am committed to caring and loving and taking care of this beautiful, sweet angel until he is old and he, transitions. I don't even want to think about it because that cat has brought nothing but happiness and joy just by his existence, his healing, his, just being fascinated by this life form, how the way he thinks, his emotions, his rigid schedule, his pica, everything that makes him into this beautiful little creature, this sweet animal who really depends on good humans to ensure he's safe and he's taken care of. So, and part of my contract, when I had to adopt him from a bona fide rescue. This isn't someone who called me and said, "Would you like a kitten?" No, I had to go through the vetting process. So did my best friend. Initially, my best friend was going to adopt a cat, but nobody would a cat, adopt out a cat to him because of his age, though he has no record, which is amazing to me that Chantel can collect and attract cats, but my best friend had to face ageism, and I had to speak up and um, damn near threaten people with not violent threats, but threats of investigation because they would turn him away. They're saying, "Well, we're afraid he's gonna. What happens if he dies or something?" And they said awful things to me. I said, "What are you thinking?" I said, "I'm here. My adult children will take on the cat. So if something happened to my best friend and me, my cat would still be loved because my cat loves my children. He would be fine, you know?" And the agreement was that I would have to co adopt, not be the next of kin, but we co adopted. So we have joint custody of the cat. Now, my best friend said, "Well, he's more your cat than mine." I'm like, "No, we're both invested. We are his parents, and that's it." We might do things differently. Like, I may take up the bulk of the food paying, and, he might do something else. I mean, I do most of the care, but he also does a lot of the care. He's contributed to vet bills, the roast chicken the roast chicken breast that my cat likes. He doesn't get the top part. He gets the meat itself. Um, snacks here and there. I maintain the kitty litter boxes. We have our responsibilities. We trade them off, okay? And we always make sure that we set it around his schedule. So our schedule's virtually changed because of what my cat needed. So, but anyway, a part of this adoption, we had to be vetted. They do a home visit. They looked in our backgrounds. We already had to have a vet established, and we already had a vet in mind because they took care of our guinea pigs. We raised guinea pigs together because of my son. So, so we already had an established vet who could vouch for us. We're ready to take him on. And we were told that the cat would have to go to the vet the first week he got there just to rule out anything else, even though he was essentially neutered and examined, but he was tested for parasites and he was tested for an ear infection and all that. He did have a little bit of an ear infection and he did have non-life threatening parasite. So we had to get medicine for those. That was fine. We expected that. So every year he gets tested for parasites and stuff, and he hasn't. He's not an outdoor cat. He's not a stray anymore. He strictly stays inside because it's too dangerous for him to wander around. I live in the middle of a city. There are inherent dangers for cats in the city. So, and that's part of my adoption agreement. So I still have the agreement. I still follow it. I'm still I remember the first few weeks I talked to the rescue about some things. So it wasn't like this easy cat just drops in my life. It takes time. It takes time to get to know a cat, to gain their trust. Listen, when you have the trust of a cat, you're golden. When that cat comes up to you and kisses you and trusts you and does the things that they do to show you trust, I'm telling you, it's life changing. It is wonderful. It is wonderful because then all you can feel is like this love and this incredible sense of fulfillment and joy, knowing that you're taking care of this little living being who's completely dependent upon you. So, of course, this whole Chantel thing has triggered half the internet, so to speak. Not half, but you know what I mean. Because of how we feel about animals in general. I come from a place where we have the strictest um, animal cruelty laws in the United States. It doesn't mean that it's fail proof. Sometimes there are things that happen, but we have very strict animal control even in my community. Cats are scooped up. Um, Animal control takes them. If the animal is chipped, it's reunited with the family, but you can't just let cats roam around. People do, and they wonder why their cats don't return. We have coyotes. There's been a bald eagle sighting. Yeah, I know. I mean, usually right in a city. Um, it's kind of unusual for us, but we don't live too far away um, from a reservoir, so that would explain it. But, traffic and all kinds of other things. So, we have very strict laws, and if people see a stray cat, they're instantly scooped up for its protection. They get what they need, and then a rescue comes to take care of them, and then they're ready for adoption. So, yeah, that's it. So I'm like, I understand that from what people have said in different circles in girl world um, about maybe Canada having a little more relaxed rules about animal cruelty, but I think that it's caught up to Chantel. I think she is facing some level of trouble, or we don't know what happened to Smokey. We don't know if a rescue actually picked up Smokey. I'm assuming so, because a local reputable agency, by the way, its name is Paws as well, and it symbolizes it. It's an acronym for animal welfare, so to speak. And she lied to them essentially, supposedly, about being a tourist and finding this animal, and um, and she was going to surrender to him. But as it were, the animal wasn't lost. It was housed. It was housed with her. It was homed with her. And now Smokey supposedly has been rehomed. And Chantel isn't showing where she is now. Supposedly she was evicted from her room that she rented. And that situation is weird. And I think that whole setup is weird. You ever heard of these buildings, apartment buildings that have too many vacancies for tax purposes? And there isn't anything against the law for having these vacancies, so to speak, but I've noticed weird things here in Massachusetts as well when they could be housing people right away. Um, and that's critical. It just takes such a long time. I don't know why all of that is done, but I've read up a lot about it. I don't know if in Foodie's case she was actually evicted or she just doesn't want to stay there anymore. I don't know what's happened to Smokey. She complains about everybody asking about Julia, but not about BBJ. Well, I mean, I heard BBJ passed away because of old age. FFG states that she's still doing good. She's still doing well. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was a recent video, an older live, but the fact of the matter is, of course, because BBJ was actually taken in and being taken care of, Julia was abandoned. Julia was in the care of both Salah and um, Foodie. Though I think more with Salah because Foodie would leave for every 30 days, she would leave for a month. She said she still does FaceTime with Salah and the cat and Julia. I don't know. I don't think so. There, we would see that because people keep asking her, "Where's Julia?" She would show how Julia is. She doesn't know where Julia is. For all we know, she probably left Julia to her own devices, left Julia abandoned somewhere, or Salah did. There is no more Salah in her life, and there is no more Julia. And when people keep asking about it, she gets defensive and goes to a cat that has been rescued and taken care of. Now, as far as her other cat, Sam, is concerned, who knows what happened? But there were some horrible things with other cats. It's very triggering to see that, to see how she recklessly is taking in these animals without so much as um, providing anything for them. It's really awful, and it's too bad. Um, so we'll see what happens. But all I know is that this latest Carbies is probably a homeless ark, and homelessness is nothing to joke about. People are waiting years to get into subsidized housing, or they're struggling to afford their housing. Um, they're struggling to afford groceries. I mean, there's more to life than just mere survival. So when you're on that survival kick all the time, it causes a lot of stress for people. And Foodie is just oblivious to it because she seems to think someone is always going to pick up the pieces for her, you know, and who knows where she'll be next. And I don't care. I mean, how she moves is fine, doesn't matter. But she's taken on cats, hamsters. I believe that she tried to dupe the public by saying that it was Harry Howie. I think there were two hamsters. One died, she replaced it with another. And that was the reason for the name change, supposedly. I think so. She's just a neglectful piece of shit. And then she buried this animal in the sand unceremoniously and illegally. And it's so triggering. It's so triggering the way she does this and gets away with it. I mean, she can't surrender any animal now. Like, if do you think that she could surrender Smokey to the SPCA? They're going to grill her. They're going to take notes. And she has a history of doing this, at least on video. If people see that, that should be a warning in itself. She can't be around animals. And if she goes to some place, again, that has even worse animal protections or fewer animal protections, it's golden for her. It's a golden opportunity for her to pick up an animal, and the animal bites her. She has she doesn't have any history of that animal, nothing, and she ends up getting fucking rabies. She's an idiot. She is an idiot and irresponsible where it concerns the situation. It's going. Listen, the cat's going to end up getting to her one way or another if she keeps on this trajectory with animals. The cats are already telling on her because the cats are a source of attention for her that she gets from the public when she presents them to the public as her pet. No, she loves them, which is a lot of nonsense. It's just a one-sided relationship. If they don't adore her or don't live up to her expectation, her unreasonable expectation for anybody, she gets rid of them. That is her modus operandi. That's how she operates. She uses them for her props, for her attention, and when they don't live up to that, or it gets old, or a new man comes along, then so be it. Now, supposedly, there was this video or email or some media nonsense about her going back to Nader. And I don't believe it. I think it's a load of crap. But if she were groveling back to Nader, then she's a bigger dumbass than I originally thought. You know, her ex-friend or whatever, Dee Dee. I mean, Dee Dee's the one that's stuck with that creature. At least Chantel can go around and fuck around as much as she wants. She doesn't have to be tied down to that. And I'm not putting down domestic violence or abuse or anything like that, because Dee Dee doesn't deserve to be harmed or hurt or anything like that. But she has fewer choices than Foodie. Foodie has more choices because she's more independent. But I listen. I'm happy for her in that sense, but she needs to face consequences, real, legal, tangible, lawful consequences for the way that she's treated these animals. And that can't come fast enough. Animal care is not a joke. It is serious. It's not something an animal you keep in the house. They are life forms. They feel. How you treat an animal is how you treat yourself, how you feel about yourself. Okay. And if you can take care of one, or you can get the support of the community, because there are a lot of community programs that will help with food and vet bills and things like that. It just depends on where you go if you need that support, because studies have shown that being responsible for another life form, especially when you're elderly, you're mentally ill, it improves. It extends life expectancy, and it improves illness. It improves mental health. It brings joy. If there's a mutual relationship there, the cat's getting love and attention and what they need, and that person is feeling good about themselves. And I can attest to that as someone who is mentally ill, that has mental health disabilities, that having a cat has been one of the greatest things in my life. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping in and listening to what I have to say. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Until next time, bye-bye.